Good morning, folks. My name's Mark Taylor. I want to just briefly go over your lab with you today. I'll probably do weekly little announcements just to remind you what's going on and give you some pointers on the ones I have assigned. But today I just want to look at the syllabus and the first two that I have assigned. Okay, so you're going to find your syllabus by just going to Canvas, and this is Chem 1 Lab, and I do have it flagged as online. I do have office hours on Tuesday, 8 till 10, and you can get to them on Zoom. I'm going to show you how to do that here in just a second. But for the most part, this class is set up to be a little bit more you're on your own for most of it. But I don't want you to feel like you're totally on your own. So any questions you have, reach out to me via email or through Canvas here, the inbox, and I will get to them as quick as I possibly can. So even though I only have those 2 hours of office hours each week, I do look forward to being available most times. Now, with regard to Zoom, I typically can't do that from my home. My internet's just not fast enough. But I can handle almost anything else. So it's through emails. If I need a video, I typically put them up through YouTube because it doesn't really matter that it's a slow network. It'll just get there eventually. But we have a few ways of getting in touch with you. But I will find that a lot of stuff that you're going to have in this class you're going to be doing on your own a lot more, because that was the intention. Try to get it as much as possible to do on your own without needing me to help you out too much. All right, but make sure you take advantage of it. Now, for you to do your office hours, if you want to sign up for any of these, you can do one of two things. You can come here physically. My office is Building 2, 218A, and just come to the second floor here, and my office is open anytime from 8 to 10. And actually, most days of the week I'm here. I teach a class on Mondays and Wednesdays, but I do plan on being here most days, Monday through Thursday, at least until noonish. So if you happen to catch me, or if I know you're coming, I can try to stick around for you. So if you need to come see me for any given reason. All right, but if you want to sign up for these office hours online, all you'll need to do is, let me click on this so you see, so I see the page how you see it. And you would just go to the calendar and click on here, Find Appointments. And my class will show up, probably is the only one that will show up for you, and just hit submit, and you'll see those times pop up. And then if you want to sign up for an office hour, you just click on it and say, yeah, it's underneath this. Okay, there, it did slide down. So right down here it says reserve spot. The student view is in the way, so we can't see it, but it does actually say that down there. So just click on reserve spot, and you will sign up, and then when you close this, that appointment will show up for you. I just don't see it because this purple banner's in my way when I'm on the student viewing. But that would actually get you in there, and I would know you're in my office hours. Now, if it pops up and it's right at 8 and you hadn't signed up, but you'll see these, just click on one of these, and inside this is this link. If you click on that link, you will pop up in my office hours. Now, there is a chance I won't necessarily be running the office hours because I don't leave Zoom running if no one's signed in. So if you get there and I'm not there, just stay online. The system lets me know that you're there, and I will probably pop in very quickly. Otherwise, if I don't, I'll send you an email why I didn't get in there. So, but I'll get with you as soon as I possibly can. But that's for those online version of the office hours. However you want to use it is up to you. All right, back on our course. I'm going to go over a couple things with the assignments. Now, I have a loose agenda here, what I think you should do each week of the class. And what I try to do is match how this stuff's being presented in your lectures. So that should be close to the order. But if you come across something that looks a little bit like you're not ready to do it, don't worry about being late on this. So it's all right if these things are late, as long as they're done by week 6, you're going to get credit for them, and they're going to be fine. Now, I have a few different categories. I have simulations, demos, kitchen chemistry, and some literature reviews. I'm going to talk about each of these a bit. So the labs are simulations. Those are, did I leave it up here? Yeah, all right. So If I click on this, I see something totally different than you. I actually see a student's name, so I'm not going to click on the Labster dashboard because it works a little bit differently for me. But if you click on it, it'll show you all the Labster assignments that we have available. Now, there are actually technically more than you need to do. So the a couple of the Labsters are down here in the extra credit. Well, it's just this one. That's still in the ethanol. So I have it, and we'll talk about extra credit here in a bit, but the other ones, like this is one. If I click on it, it goes to this page, tells you what you're going to be doing, and then you'll click on this to actually start the Labster simulation. As long as my internet's good, yeah, it shows it. And it will load up. It really does depend on your browser, how good it is, and your internet connection. But once it's loaded up, it will actually be running. And I wasn't going to bother to load this all the way up because this is a neat little simulation, and it's three-dimensional world, and it's they're kind of well received. They're adequate at least. So you'll have I think there's 4 simulations you have to do, and then I have one that's extra credit. And like I said, we'll talk about the extra credit here in a bit. In addition to the Labster simulations, I have what we're calling kitchen chemistry. Now, all of these that say kitchen chemistry, they actually go to a very similar page. And what I have on here is just a bunch of different, essentially they're cooking recipes, but they're kind of set up like you would in a chemistry lab. Some of the more popular ones, the microwave chocolate cake, 2-minute chocolate cake, the 30-second cake, and there's cookies in here as well that's also quick. I don't see the cookie one. Well, anyway, it's one of these. I at least thought it was on here. I might have taken the cookies off. There it is. Microwave chocolate cookies. Those are all the quick ones, and those have typically been kind of popular. What I want you to do is, so if we click on one of these just to see what it's like, I'll click on the top one. They are written like recipes. But the equipment they actually go through the process is a little bit more like a chemistry lab. So it gets a little bit more of that hands-on aspect of it. And it's something you can do safely in your own home, and you can eat the results, so you don't have to worry about this stuff being terribly dangerous. And some of these are just a little bit different than what you might do for real. There's a 2 minutes to bake a cake, and do keep in mind that this 2-minute thing, it doesn't actually say this really well. The timing does vary based on your microwave. So if you do one of these and 90 seconds doesn't seem to be enough, you can go longer. But do keep an eye on it. I mean, they work out pretty well. But have fun with these in the kitchen chemistry. And technically what I'm wanting you to do, if I go down here to the very bottom, or wait, where is it? Choose one of these selections and make a short film of your success. I was doing this with pictures. I would like you to film it and actually try to make it as nice as you possibly can. It doesn't need to be long. Over the summer last year, I had someone do TikTok videos of them, and that's why I'm kind of telling you guys have to film them, because I thought that was kind of fun. They were kind of neat looking. Some of these will take longer, and some of these, I've already had a couple people point out that your no-churn ice cream here, if you bring up one of these will take a lot longer, and the recipe, 6 hours. The recipe, you are making a lot of this. So 2 cups of heavy cream. This is a lot of ice cream, but it is actually ice cream. It's just no churn. You actually put it in to the freezer as a liquid, and it freezes up properly. And this one popped up because somebody said they wanted something a little bit more challenging or more. And I even have some non-candy version stuff somewhere in here, vegan superfoods and such, gluten-free. So I try to add more to my kitchen chemistry list, and you are required to do, let me go back to the syllabus here, you are required to do kitchen chemistry 1 and 2. The others are extra credits. So if you want to do more, they are extra credits. All right, next category is the demos. These are probably the easiest ones to do because you're just going to be watching demos of me doing stuff. And let's see. First one of these is this week, determination of chemical formula. And I have several videos taken at the peak of COVID when my hair was at its absolute longest. And when you're all done, we have some questions that you end up answering that are related to more than just the copper hydrate in there. So just more applications of the results. And I have 4 demos in here. I believe it's 4. And then I have literature reviews, which are just what they sound like. I have, if you click on these, I have a bunch of little articles out of a recently published. And you're going to read one, make a little summary of it, and then post that. All right, last thing, the extra credit. What I'm doing that for is not that you'll need extra credits. So if you do your assignments, the 2 a week, with how I grade these, it's very doubtful you'll have any problems maintaining an easy A. But what I do realize is some people won't be able to do the kitchen chemistry or the labsters, or they might want to do those instead of the other. You might like the labsters more than you like the kitchen chemistry or the literature review. So what I did is almost any of these that you don't want to do or just want to do something different, you can replace it with one of the extra credits. And as long as you're getting 12 assignments done, you should be in good shape for an easy grade. All right, and the last thing, when we actually do submit, so if there is stuff like this determination of the chemical formula, it has questions at the very end of these demos, and you're going to be doing those questions. And it says down here what I want, text box or file upload. You can manually type this back in, or you can put it on paper and upload an image of it, but you will be doing just the questions there on the end of these demos. All right, make sure you reach out to me if you have any questions whatsoever. I will mostly, if I need to contact you guys as a group, I will send a message via inbox because that kind of comes out immediately. If it's something that's not terribly important, it'll be in announcements, kind of like what this one is going to be. This video will be right here where it says announcements, and every Monday I will probably make another announcement letting you know something about the labs you're doing this week. All right, so that's the summary of it. Now what we're going to do is talk about these first 2 labs. So the first 2 labs, you're doing a ionic and covalent bonds and the determination of the chemical formula. Now I just showed the determination of the chemical formula. That is just, you're watching a number of videos to see how I would have actually done this lab and how you would have if you'd been coming in here. And then once you're all done, you're going to answer some questions kind of based more on the results and not actually what you would have done if you were in the lab. And the other assignment you're doing this week, it's this ionic and covalent bonds, and this is a labster simulation. So you will actually click on that, allow it to load up, and depending on your speed, this is faster or slower. And I'm here on campus where we normally have good internet, but today it's been kind of slow, so we'll see if this shows up, loads up here relatively quick. And the nice thing about the simulations is it gets you a little bit more of what we would do in the lab, and it looks a little bit techy because a little bit three-dimensional simulation. And the nice thing about most of these simulations, you can do things that you wouldn't necessarily do in the lab, either because it's dangerous or because the equipment costs too much, or they're like this one, which is just a good example of practicing things.
Welcome to the ionic and covalent bonds simulation. In this lab, you will learn how atoms hook up to form covalent and ionic bonds.
I was not going to let this play all the way through because I don't need it to. And come on. There we go. I was going to say my escape key wasn't working, but I just didn't click on it right. All right, but you'll be going through that whole thing, and I think right now I have it set up so you have to complete it to get the grade. but I will be tweaking that some because I want you to get towards a certain percent of it complete and a certain score, because it does things that it grades you on. And I'll set that across the board on all of the Labsters, so they all have the exact same requirement. But they are just nice little simulations. Now, once it gets loaded, it actually is going to work relatively well, so it's the loading thing that takes a while. And I do know that a lot of you, it's the internet that you have, kind of like me. If I was doing this at home, I wouldn't even have tried to bring up the Labster. So if you know ahead of time that your internet's not going to be good enough for that, just skip down here to one of these extra credits and replace it. Or come to campus where school is mostly open and you can do the Labsters from the parking lot on a little laptop. All right, folks, thank you, and let me know if you have any questions. Email me via the inbox or contact me through those Zoom hours. Thank you.